Have you ever made a cringe-worthy typo? I have. Embarrassing typos reflect on your expertise. Knowing how to proofread your work product makes the difference between something you're ashamed and something that you're proud of. I've spent thousands of hours proofreading my own material as well as material written by others. My name is Pat Iyer. I'm an author, a ghostwriter, and an editor. Does it sound harsh to say that you have to proofread? There are a lot of typos in everyday signs, on the internet and in ads, and who cares? Your clients do. It's not acceptable to produce work with typos, period, end of story. Google also cares. Websites with typos get lower rankings. My goal is to be as clear and accurate as possible. I use some techniques to proofread that you might find valuable. First, proofread when you're fresh. Is this when you first wake up, right after dinner? Do this work when you're most alert and able to focus. Second point, avoid last-minute proofreading. When possible, walk away from what you wrote and look at it again the next day. I know sometimes you're in a rush, but you will do a better job proofing if you allow the material to settle overnight before you look at it again. Print it out. It's easier for most writers to spot errors on paper than on a monitor. Get out the red pen and go to work. Point 4, I'm going to assume for these tips that you're writing a report. Look at it in stages. For example, you might first read the body of the report for typos that spell check doesn't catch. You know those pesky ones like int he and form versus from and trial versus trail. And this is my next point. You can habitually make the same mistakes. Look at the words you commonly misspell. After looking at the body of the report, look at the headers. Make sure you're consistently capitalizing the major words in your headers. If you use subheads, the first word of the subhead is capitalized. Point 7, look for consistency. For example, one of the examples that I see most often is writers who are not consistent in writing dates. Pick one method and stick to it. Either write out the month in letters or use numbers, but don't use both systems in one document. Look for idiosyncratic capitalization. If you're not sure about how to capitalize a word, review the rules. And then have somebody else with excellent proofreading skills read your report. That could be a spouse, a trusted friend, just to get a different perspective and to make sure you didn't miss anything obvious. Last point, people are very touchy about wanting their names to be spelled and pronounced correctly. Just yesterday, somebody called me Mrs. Iyer. I really dislike being called Mrs. Liar. What a bad name for an expert witness. Don't misspell your client's name above all. Come on over to patiyer.com for weekly tips that will elevate your writing skills and request a free copy of our writing checklist.